you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, you shine. I know you'd never leave me behind. I am lost this time. Are we destined to burn, or will we last the night? I will hold you till I hold you right. If only you could see yourself in my eyes.
All right, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Morning Coffee with Rick Alexander. The second installment of the Clarity Academy is getting ready to kick off on April 11th, and we have just a couple spots open for that. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but honestly, this work changed my life so much in the last couple years. But what's so much more important than that is the way that it's changing other people's lives in the cohort that just finished, to see some of their breakthroughs and their transformations and the things that they're talking about and the way they're talking about their own life. It's really validating for me. And so I really probably will never be able to stop pushing this because I do believe in it so much. But that kind of goes into what I wanted to talk about today. So for people that have followed my journey up until now or followed me on Instagram, you know that last week I was in Las Vegas to officiate a wedding for two of my best friends. And leading up to this wedding, the reason this is so interesting is because A, I'm not a reverend or a pastor in any way. And also because I've never done it before. And I really I couldn't get a good grip on how I wanted to deliver it. I mean, you want to be like heartfelt and you want to be kind of witty. But outside of that, I really had no idea tactically what that was going to look like. And a couple nights before the wedding, I was really starting to fall apart. I was really starting to lose sleep because I was just so nervous about it, which is something interesting too, because I do speak for a living. And so to be that nervous about something probably says a lot, but I was putting so much pressure on myself I think because the crowd was essentially all of like family and friends and like my loved ones as well, because we have so many mutual friends, like all of my best friends essentially were going to be in that audience. And so I was really beating myself up about it. And I had a thought the Wednesday before the wedding, which was about 3 days prior, that honestly changed my life. It's changed the way that I look at everything in my life. It's changed the way that I operate within my life. It's changed the way that I look at the other people in my life. So I felt like I have to share this with the Morning Coffee audience. And here's the thing that I realized. I was so nervous. I was beating myself up, and I had this thought that it's not about you, man. Like, this has nothing to do with you. So get out of your own way and just deliver them the best day that you possibly can. And to realize that it wasn't about me, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, because I realized in my own life, like, I've got this need for validation. Like, I always want people to tell me I did a good job. I want to crush it. I have a high standard of excellence for myself. But because of that, I'm always looking at the world as if it's about me. And the truth is that this world, this life, it's not about you at all. The reward is that you get to participate in it. You get to feel that first sip of coffee in the morning. You get to feel that cool breeze on a hot day. You get to feel the things that make life worth living. For me, it's being in the mountains. For me, it's seeing friends tear up because you delivered something that made their day perfect. And what I realize is all of this need for validation that I have, all of this, like, we always want to make it about us, right? And I did a podcast last week about how nobody's really that concerned with what you're doing because they're so concerned with what they're doing. And I think all of those thoughts leading up to this wedding just really hit home when I realized, like, as long as you look at the world through your lens and that it's about you, you are inherently limiting your potential. Not only are you putting much more pressure on yourself to perform, which doesn't need to be there, but you are limiting your own potential in very tangible ways, because you're not seeing people as they are. You're only seeing people as they relate to you. And you're seeing the world as it relates to you. But what I've found to be a much more beneficial mindset is to realize it's nothing to do with you. And the beauty is that you get to be a part of it. And of course, as soon as I had this realization, it was like a ton of bricks lifted off of my shoulders. And I was able to think, okay, well then, if it's about them, what do I need to say about them? What do I need to say to other people? And a lot of times, even we do this in conversation too. We'll be talking to each other, but we're not really trying to talk to each other. We're waiting until it's our turn to speak. And we're just thinking about what we're going to say. And I started looking at past relationships in my life. I started looking at past friendships, and I realized I had made everything about myself. And it's not like always overly selfish or overly egotistical, like maybe it sounds like when I say that. There's plenty of times you do care about the people in your lives. But I think what a lot of us are doing, especially if you're driven for success, is you care about the people in your life, but you care about them as it relates to you. Very rarely do we sit with people and just ask how they're doing and generally just listen, genuinely care about how they're doing and what they want. And then the things, the endeavors that we take on in life, the business pursuits, the other relationships, like I can't tell you this realization, like how much it's going to impact everything, because I realize this show, it's not about me. It's not the Rick Show. This show is about you. This show is about your life, your pursuit for more quality relationships in your life, your pursuit to level up, your pursuit for a better life in general. And as I create content, I have to make this about you. And in relationships, it's not about what that person can do for you. It's what you can do for them. And same thing with my business and the Clarity Academy. It's nothing to do with me. It's what can I get for my clients? What can I do to make their life better? And then the beauty of all three of these things is I get to produce a show that I absolutely love. I get to be in relationships with people that fulfill me and make me happy. And I get to run a business that inherently makes me feel like I'm doing what I was supposed to be doing in this life. But to understand that all of the things that you do have nothing to do with you, they're not about you, it helps allow you to get out of your own way to deliver the experience for everybody else. The conundrum here that I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about is, okay, well then how do you navigate this idea that you have to kind of have inherent self-worth and you have to do deep work in yourself? And the reason that you do these things is because it then allows you to be the best version of you. See, if you sacrifice and give yourself away constantly for everybody else, you're not actually serving those people and the people in your lives to the best of your ability. And so if you do take that time for self-awareness, and I think that's how you reconcile this idea, if you take this time for self-awareness to be the best you can be, then you're going to be the best you for everybody else in your life. And so today, I don't necessarily have a question for anybody, but more of a statement, which is, whatever it is you do, it's not about you. And as soon as you get to realize that, you'll realize that you're engaging with the world around you in a much different way. And that way is much more fulfilling and beneficial. And the beauty is that you get to be a part of it. Life is tough for everyone, but it's so much tougher when we're all living in our own heads, getting what we can, doing what we can for ourselves. That's the exact mentality that keeps everything tougher than it has to be. If you get out of your own way, if you realize that this life isn't about you, it's about everybody else, the beauty is that you get to participate in a life that is so much bigger than your own, and that is so much more fulfilling. So I hope this one makes sense for you. I hope you guys really take this to heart and think about the ways that some of this selfishness or some of this looking through the ego, even if it doesn't seem inherently selfish, can really be detrimental to your relationships and to the quality of your life. As always, I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow on Morning Coffee.